Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into a topic that's super important for our health and well-being. The foods I personally keep off my plate and why you might want to consider doing the same. Now, this isn't about being restrictive or creating food fear. It's about being informed and making empowered choices for a healthier, more vibrant life. We're going to look at what the science says and break down the why behind each of these 5 food categories. So, grab a healthy snack, get comfortable, and let's get into it. First up on my no-go list, and this might be a tough one for some, is processed meats. I'm talking about things like hot dogs, sausages, bacon, ham, and deli meats like salami and bologna. I know they're convenient and can be tasty, but the health risks associated with them are just too significant for me to ignore. The World Health Organization's International Agency for Research on Cancer, or IARC, classified processed meat as a Group 1 carcinogen. That's the same category as tobacco smoking and asbestos. Now, this doesn't mean eating a hot dog is as bad as smoking a cigarette, but it does mean there's strong evidence linking it to cancer, specifically colorectal cancer. The IARC report concluded that eating just 50 grams of processed meat every day, that's less than 2 slices of bacon, increases the risk of colorectal cancer by 18%. Why are they so problematic? It's largely due to the processing methods. Curing, smoking, and adding preservatives like sodium nitrites create compounds that can damage our DNA. Nitrites, for instance, can form nitrosamines in our gut, which are potent cancer-causing chemicals. On top of that, these products are often loaded with sodium and unhealthy saturated fats, which contribute to high blood pressure and heart disease. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found a clear link between higher consumption of processed meats and an increased risk of cardiovascular disease and early death. For me, swapping these out for fresh, unprocessed protein sources like grilled chicken, fish, or plant-based options like lentils and beans is a no-brainer. Coming in at number 2 on my list are sugary drinks. This includes sodas, fruit juices with added sugar, sports drinks, and those fancy sweetened coffees and teas. These are what nutritionists often call liquid calories, and they're one of the biggest contributors to weight gain and a host of metabolic problems. When you drink a sugary beverage, your body is flooded with a massive amount of sugar, usually high fructose corn syrup or sucrose, with none of the fiber that you get from eating a whole piece of fruit. This causes a rapid spike in your blood sugar and insulin levels. Over time, this can lead to insulin resistance, which is a major driver of type 2 diabetes. Research from the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health has shown that people who drink 1 to 2 cans of sugary drinks per day have a 26% greater risk of developing type 2 diabetes than people who rarely have such drinks. And it's not just about diabetes. The high sugar content, particularly fructose, gets metabolized by the liver and can be turned into fat. This can lead to non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, a condition that's becoming increasingly common. These drinks are also linked to an increased risk of heart disease, gout, and even certain types of cancer. They offer zero nutritional value, just empty calories that fuel inflammation and disease. I stick to water, herbal tea, or sparkling water with a squeeze of lemon or lime. It's a simple switch that makes a huge difference. Number 3 on my avoid list is something that hides in a lot of packaged foods: partially hydrogenated oils, also known as artificial trans fats. You'll find these in things like margarine, vegetable shortening, fried foods, store-bought pastries, and some crackers and cookies. Manufacturers used to love them because they're cheap and they increase the shelf life of products. However, science has been screaming about the dangers of trans fats for decades. These fats are created through an industrial process called hydrogenation, which turns liquid vegetable oils into solid fats. This process changes their chemical structure in a way that our bodies are not equipped to handle. The FDA has actually banned artificial trans fats from the US food supply, but some may still linger in products due to various loopholes. So, what do? Trans fats are a double whammy for your heart health. They raise your LDL, or bad cholesterol, while simultaneously lowering your HDL, the good cholesterol. This combination is a perfect recipe for clogged arteries, leading to a significantly increased risk of heart attacks and strokes. A comprehensive review published in the New England Journal of Medicine stated that for every 2% increase in calories from trans fat, the risk of coronary heart disease increases by a staggering 23%. They also promote inflammation, contribute to insulin resistance, and are linked to overall higher mortality rates. I make it a habit to read labels carefully. If you see partially hydrogenated oil on the ingredients list, put it back on the shelf. Your heart will thank you. Alright, moving on to number 4, refined grains. This category includes white bread, white rice, white pasta, and most breakfast cereals, cakes, and pastries. These are grains that have been stripped of their most nutritious parts, the bran and the germ, during the milling process. This is done to give them a finer texture and a longer shelf life, but it removes almost all the fiber, vitamins, and minerals. What you're left with is essentially just the starchy endosperm. Much like sugary drinks, when you eat refined grains, they are digested very quickly, leading to a rapid spike in blood sugar and insulin. This constant roller coaster can lead to energy crashes, cravings, and, over the long term, contribute to weight gain and type 2 diabetes. A large study in the BMJ found that higher consumption of white rice was associated with a significantly increased risk of developing type 2 diabetes. In contrast, whole grains like brown rice, quinoa, oats, and whole wheat bread keep the bran and germ intact. The fiber in whole grains slows down the absorption of sugar, provides a steady stream of energy, and keeps you feeling full and satisfied for longer. It also feeds the good bacteria in your gut, which is crucial for everything from digestion to immune function. Choosing whole grains over refined grains is one of the easiest and most impactful swaps you can make for your metabolic health. And finally, my fifth and final no-go food category is microwave popcorn. Specifically the kind in the chemical-lined bags. I love popcorn, but not this version. The problem isn't the popcorn itself. It's the bag and the artificial flavorings. Those microwavable bags are often lined with chemicals called per and polyfluoroalkyl substances, or PFAS. These are forever chemicals used to make the bags grease-proof. When heated, these chemicals can leach into the popcorn. The EPA has noted that PFAS are linked to a number of health issues, including thyroid problems, immune system dysfunction, and even certain types of cancer. While the industry has phased out some of the most notorious PFAS, concerns about their replacements remain. Then there's the butter flavoring. That classic movie theater butter smell and taste often comes from a chemical called diacetyl. Inhaling diacetyl has been linked to a severe and irreversible lung disease called popcorn lung, which was first observed in factory workers who handled the chemical. While the risk is much lower for consumers, the fact that a flavoring agent is associated with such a serious condition is enough for me to stay away. I make my popcorn the old-fashioned way on the stove top with a little coconut oil and a sprinkle of real salt. It's cheaper, healthier, and tastes so much better. So there you have it, my top 5 foods to avoid. Processed meats, sugary drinks, artificial trans fats, refined grains, and microwave popcorn. Making these changes has had a profound impact on my energy levels, my digestion, and my overall sense of well-being. Remember, the goal is not perfection, but progress. It's about being a conscious consumer and choosing foods that nourish your body instead of harming it. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Are there any foods you actively avoid? Let's share our knowledge and support each other on this journey to better health. Thanks so much for watching today. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more content on living a healthy, happy life. See you in the next one.